Hello, everybody. What's up, Zombie Grub? How you doing today?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm doing okay. We've already had a stream hiccup though, which is not a good sign.
Good.
Um, so I don't want to ask you to start streaming right away. We'll give it a shot and see if it goes. If it hiccups again, though, we will swap off and not waste anyone's time. Um, I'm thinking this actually might be my ISP. I was concerned it was me. But I was playing World of Warcraft with a friend of mine who lives in a completely different city, but it's the same provider, and we both disconnected at the same time. So I'm gonna guess that Shaw's just having some issues. If that's the case, we'll toss it over to you. I've resolved some of the DDoS protection stuff that I didn't have yesterday because it's been so long since I needed it, and hopefully that won't be a problem today. But column A and column B on this one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there was no veto process, so I'll just say the map has been chosen.
Yeah, for those who don't know how today is gonna work, let's actually go over this really quickly before we get into these games. There is only losers pick today, and all 15 maps are available. This is kind of important because for the last 2 rounds, we've only limited them to 5 maps per round out of the total 8 available for this. Excuse me, 9 available total for the tournament on this side of it. Now, even the ones that were played in the Korean League can be selected here if the players really want to check them out. And the reason it's a little bit more lenient and a little bit more laid back is that today has actually no prize money increase whatsoever. Like, Harstem versus Neeb is going to be our first match, and Harstem and Neeb will both walk away today with at least $300. Nobody can win any more than that, and unless they forfeit out of the tournament, they can't possibly lose their money either. Hopefully the BaseTradeTV one.
Well, there's the Chrome-based one, which is the original stream labels, and then there's the application, which is the beta. And I do believe the BaseTradeTV one is... Yes, that one. Nailed it. Got it. And I get rid of the second alert box, and now we should be good to go! So that's the best of 7. Yay! On Sequencer, it was Harstem's first map choice, and then the rest is going to be loser's pick. And speaking of, in the bottom left is the pink Protoss. It's Harstem.
And his opponent in the top right, coming all the way from North America, he's the only non-European in this tournament. Give it up for Neeb. And again, just to let you guys know the deal with the maps, we've changed it a little bit. And it's going to be all 15 maps available to these folks today to pick from. It's losers pick, so maybe they just pick the comfortable ones they played yesterday and the day before, and that's totally fine. Or maybe one of them wants to try one of the ones from the Korean tournament. Either way, it's up to them, and all the maps are available for this sort of, we'll call it like an exhibition semifinals.
An exhibition semifinals. Yes, exactly. Well, the stream should be working.
Yeah, I'll let chat know.
Well, yeah. I would like to see it as well. There it is. Okay, I confirmed. Cool. I can also tell my ads. Great.
Well, anyways, hiccups aside, hopping into this. Again, you guys have helped us do a lot through this. The map testing's been a lot of fun, so first off, a big thank you to all the players who have played up till today, both in the Korean and here in the foreigner side of it. But I think it's really interesting they chose Sequencer as their first map. I believe it's Harstem who won the coin flip.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a long debate. It was a pretty quick choice in a Sequencer. I know that you have your reserved feelings about this map. I am really 50-50 in terms of thinking this is a good versus a bad map. I'm just not a fan of the minerals being what they are. But the map design, the wonkiness of the mini-map, looking so glaring at first glance. Like, this map, it did end up playing a lot more standard games than most out of all the maps we've tested.
Sure. I don't mind it if it was in a ladder map pool. I don't think it'll create like, you know, super balanced games, and I can see why the pros like it because it does kind of play like standard. But I would not want to play in this map for aesthetic reasons as well as just, you know, personal bias. I think that TVT would be annoying to search all these, to search everywhere and have the map control. So I wouldn't like it. But PvP, a different beast. We did see a PvP in the round of 16, I think. But I can't remember who right now, so let's just disregard that. Yeah, I can't remember who. But, yeah, I'm not sure how much to really test on this matchup on these new maps for PvP. Maybe the players actually have something very, very specific in mind. I did, funnily enough, mention the possibility of Phoenix versus Phoenix on this map, because we talked about Muta versus Muta during that epic game. And it'd be quite funny and coincidental if they actually went into Phoenix versus Phoenix. I mean, Neeb's going to scout that Harstem has a Stargate on the way. I don't think Harstem is scouted yet.
They actually were talking in the lobby, and I don't know whether this was serious or just banter, but they both said, like, we agreed, no ground units. Like, they're kind of joking about no rush, 20s, and all this, but whether this was actually on purpose or coincidence, I'm going to be very happy to see what an air battle looks like, because it's been a while since we've seen pure PvP air.
Well,
but never mind, I'm going to be saddened.
Yeah. Once the Stargate got scouted, he just went ahead and canceled it and went into a Twilight Council and a Robo. I guess it isn't too bad. The Stargate was about halfway done.
Did you see the cancel?
No. I think it's the whole purpose of it. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Harstem still hasn't seen what Neeb is doing, and Neeb isn't just going for one Stargate, he's going for a second Stargate. So, that's a little more complicated. You have only a set amount of units, and they're not paying attention, or you have them split up because maybe you're expecting like an Oracle or something to come somewhere, and suddenly like 16 Phoenix come in and swoop, kill everything. That'd be a shocker.
There's another interesting part of this too, though, where, and this focuses more on the Phoenix aspect. If there's the assumption here that Harstem's going Blank Stalker Disruptor or anything like that, I love the idea of Phoenix. We've actually seen Phoenix be like an amazing counter to Disruptor play. But the fact that he scouted the Stargate and just decided to go harder into the Stargate, I guess he was just hoping to get a lead on the Phoenix game, and that might...
Yeah.
It might not be a bad thing, despite this being a little bit weirder to look at.
Yeah, I mean, if Harstem had gone for the Stargate and just, you know, went for an Oracle like you usually do, or even if he had gone for Phoenixes, then yeah, absolutely Neeb would have won and crushed the opener, and Harstem would have just been in a bad position from then on. But the fact that it's not Stargate for Harstem, and he, you know, did get that blink, I mean, it puts him in a better position. That's what you want against these Phoenix, but it's still going to be an annoyance. And of course, I think with the amount of Phoenix, he realizes that it is double Stargate. Unfortunately, unable to take out any of the Phoenixes while his Mothership Core goes down. And we do have Neeb trying to transfer out at least a little bit from his Stargate. They get a Smokey the Bandit for the 3-month resub. Shrimpkin has arrived. Yes, that is a new meme instantly made.
Spunkmeyer also hit us up with 21 months a little bit earlier. Says, woohoo! Still loving my Rifkin and Zombie Grub. Aww. We had also, I guess, V Fernandez 1280 for the 2 months. I watch all your content on YouTube with that blocked off. Hearts and dedication. Well, thank you very much, man. We appreciate it. Yeah, the do you get the joke with the emote code for the new shrimp one?
I didn't even look at the code.
It's ACE.
AC.
Because it's under the sea with AC.
Clever.
Speaking of clever, grabbing all these stalkers up to the sky means nothing's able to shoot. This feels a little bit bad. Harstem obviously comes back and does push these off, but already losing a couple stalkers like that, I mean, it's funny to watch because it is really abusive. I mean, look at the resources lost, 300 to 1200. This absolutely feels like you can't fight against this. But same time, though, Phoenixes are going to be so much more limited than Harstem stalkers later on, and the more that come out.
Well, they'll always be useful if they're both going to go into Disruptor. Or, well, if Harstem goes into Disruptor at least.
You know, actually, even if it's not Disruptor, even if it's something weird like Immortals, right? Like, you can still Graviton Beam those and take them out of the fight.
Yeah, they are. Phoenixes are almost never not useful. Yeah, is that the way it goes?
That's an awfully unnecessary and confusing way to phrase that.
Yeah, right? But especially if they're in these numbers. I mean, if you get 5 Phoenix and then 1 dies, and then you're like, what do I do with 4 Phoenix? That's a little bit different. They're going to get like 1 pickup and then they're going to die. But with this Benny, they should be able to get a few crucial pickups. And yeah, Neeb has been kind of dominating in the trade so far, but really not much has gone on, so it's kind of like manageable. Third base was taken by Harstem at the lesser base, the low yield here, no second gas, all that jazz, and Neeb took the regular base, which I think is a smarter move. Unfortunately for Harstem. Now, he does take it now, and I believe he got to start a little bit faster too, so he had a spike in income, but then he's losing.
Something we have to fix something terribly, horrendously important.
What?
The base trade bar on the overlay is off by like 2 pixels.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I can't help you there.
Oh, please. I can't. No, just no, please.
No. And he just mentioned it, so he just ruined it for like tons of other people.
Oh, it's on the right side too. It's not even just the bottom.
Well, no, it's not even... Yeah.
No. Senpai, please. I can't.
No, you don't understand. Like, I could, maybe, in between games, try and really fiddle with it, but Snap is automatic on OBS. And like, it won't let me just kind of like put it down by 1. It's really annoying.
Freaking OBS, dude. This is why I love XSplit, okay?
I really need to change over to OBS Studio, because that's the one they're actually updating and fixing. But I tried once, and I was like, I don't want to.
I don't know anything about OBS, but it's like, it's so bad to hear like, oh, I'm using the one from like 10 years ago. Nobody uses it anymore. Like,
oh, okay, come on now. It's like a year old. Just calm down now.
Okay, well, sorry for ruining it for everybody who has OCD out there. I'm gonna commit Sudoku if I watch the stream, so I don't blame you if you leave.
Funnily enough, I think only 1 person has mentioned it. Like, at least enough that I noticed while streaming.
I wish I didn't check to make sure the stream was working okay. I would have never noticed.
Yeah.
Alright, well, tricks on me. A lot of Phoenix in the sky out of Neeb still, and he's still pumping out 2 at a time. It's interesting to see him really expand with this, though. I mean, his ground army isn't too bad. And truthfully, I really thought he would have been hurting more. Like, Harstem could have... Like, if you got all these Phoenix in the sky, I think it's pretty easy for Harstem to sit back and play super-duper macro, knowing you can't pick up buildings, and throw on an extra Nexus. Way more than you need, but you'll get away with it. Instead, he's unfortunately taking the yield... Well, both players have taken... No, not both. Excuse me. Just Harstem picked the low-yield base. So Neeb's actually going to have better mining than Harstem, despite them both being on 4 bases.
I thought you were trying to say YOLO. No, I'm sorry. Only Harstem has YOLO'd. My mistake.
With the minerals, right?
Yeah. So Harstem does have his upgrade finishing up here, so now they're uneven upgrades, and he does have disruptors. So these charge lots are going to feel a little bit useless unless they can actually get on top of them and like hopefully kind of bypass the shots. But they're not getting on top of the disruptors yet. That one is lifted though by the Phoenix, and there's the real power of the Phoenix. Half of Harstem's army is on another platform, and he's just being chased down into these chokes. Lifted up by the Phoenixes as he tries to retreat. He has double disruptors on the way, so I feel like he might be able to hold once he's finally like found a position. But this is dangerous. These Phoenixes aren't exactly low energy. One does get sniped, not bad, but War Prism's already prepared, and Neeb's on a ton of gateways.
That is, I was gonna say, that's an insane warp in. That's 12 gateways to Harstem 6.
Oh geez, wow! I didn't realize it was that bad. Yeah, I mean, Neeb has been winning the income war most of the time, aside from like a few spikes. I guess his Neeb may be transferred as well as the early game. But damn, it's a lot.
Now, Phoenixes are going to be so good if they can pick up those disruptors. The concern here is, though, Neeb doesn't look like he's able to push in for any kind of fight. Charge lots, Archons, like these are all things that will die to disruptors. What targeted those rocks? What?
An immortal blast.
I
was confused too. Alright, these disruptors are still low enough number where every shot is kind of precious. One gets lifted, the other one already used its shot. These 2 just get lifted as well. I think one went off in the heart of the army? No, not even. Oh, these disruptors have felt very ineffective, and the Zealots of Harstem going up against the Archons aren't winning that battle.
What? Here comes those 12 Zealot warping out of Neeb. Who's got production like this? Nobody but Neeb. And when you're warping in 12 Zealots at a time, GG.
Well, that was not a game I was expecting. Just pure macro. 4
I wasn't expecting the charge lots to win, though. We've seen this composition many times, and
right,
I mean, obviously, it's the Phoenix that won the game more than anything else. But to see charge lots just power through like that was impressive. Oh, we have a resub. You should read this one.
Maybe that would have fixed it. That actually might be too big now, though. Oh, hold on. Oh, well, first we had Alice, whatever, 26 months. Never forget Catalina. Fear Dragon, resub for 37 months. I'm gonna fix the sponsor bar. Well,
you know what he's doing? I think he's the shaman making the bloodlust noise at the end of that message.
I've been playing a lot of Fallout, like a disturbing amounts. I have not felt this lazy in a long time, and I recently I've experimented with all the drugs that are available, I guess.
Yo, the drugs in that game change it. I never used drugs. Like in all my Fallout playthroughs, I literally would never use drugs. Fallout 4 is when I first started using drugs, and oh my god, I didn't even give a fuck. I was addicted to Jet so quick. I was using it all the time. It was amazing.
Well, we use Psycho, and they're like,
oh, Psycho,
they shout shit, whatever. I actually forget what they shout right now.
My favorite thing was they made it so some of the drugs got combined. If you would level up your chemistry or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
So you'd have like Psycho Jet and stuff. And you're like, oh cool.
Yeah. Mixing
and matching. No way this could go wrong.
Yep. Yeah, it's been fun. I'm kind of I've fallen out of love with trying to build my settlement though. At first I was like, oh cool.
God. Preston Darby. Ugh. Another settlement needs your help. Another settlement needs your help.
Helping the settlements because it gives me experience. It's a quest, but I don't want to build up my settlement anymore.
No, the other part of this for me wasn't just that Preston Darby was really annoying and needy. It's that you wouldn't be able to find him. Like you'd go to the town and until you get the fort, he's just like walking around. You see him on the minimap, but you can't actually see him. You're like, where are you?
Yeah, I do hate that. I definitely agree. Yeah. I also just the AI for your so like I realized at some point this is like, oh okay, in some ways this is kind of like playing Mass Effect, especially now that there's like voice acting and this is fun. And then it's like Mass Effect 1, the fact that your companions are just dumb as shit. Like just dying all over the place, not being fucking useful. I mean, Dog Meat's kind of useful, but sometimes he'll just like run after you instead of running after the bad guys, so not useful. And then I'm using the newspaper chick or whatever, and she just runs forward and dies, and I'm like, well, you were a help.
Did you ever play Fallout 2 or anything like that?
No, I tried. The only other Fallout game I played was Las Vegas, and I didn't like it, so I didn't.
I was gonna say the legacy of Dog Meat goes back. He's like from like the first game. Like this obviously isn't the same dog, but
sure.
I just love that they always just call him Dog Meat.
That's kind of cute. Oh yeah, I meant to shout out Mr. Boris Makarov, but I forgot. Thank you for your 32-month resub.
Sounds like Zombie Grip hates you, dude.
You didn't shout it out either.
I did in my heart.
Okay, look, I'm gonna fix the sponsor overlay, so you do the.
Please. Okay, please. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're in game number 2. Spawning here on the top left side, playing for Ting, an absolute stone cold badass when it comes to Phoenix and charge lots. It's none other than Neeb.
I might have fixed it. In the bottom right is the pink Protoss. He is Harstem.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
See, now it might be going over a little bit though. See, that's the thing.
I could have just not looked. Now I'm gonna have to look when it catches up. Oh, if it's going over, I'm gonna.
You know what? It's like pretty perfect. Like it's going over the gray bars.
Pretty perfect. I swear to God, I'm gonna fire you so quick if that's. Oh my God.
Also, the Corsair logo is kind of over the edge too. I'm gonna fix that. Fired.
Maybe we should just deal with my drop frames.
It's better.
Okay, so getting back on topic for a moment here, guys. Again, if you really like watching Neeb play, or you feel like Harstem got robbed, or any of the players from the round of 16, the round of 8, the round of 4 today, like any of these players are totally eligible to be resurrected back to the grand finals. So you should absolutely make sure you vote for your favorite player above all else. Maybe you don't really care about affecting the maps at all, and that's fine, because actually abstaining a vote from the map votes is actually going to be pretty useful as far as us telling what people want to see. But that being said, we hope you guys will help us vote on the maps too. Now, Paradisia is another one of the ones that was for the foreigner portion of the tournament, so these players have seen it, they are used to it. But again, I just want to emphasize that all 15 maps are available today. Everybody can play on any map, especially the ones from the Korean tournament. Although, I will say, objectively here for a moment, I think that Paradise Lost and there's Curious Passage and Wind Waker were the only ones I really enjoyed from the Korean tournaments.
Yeah, so I think I was trying to think of what maps the foreigners haven't seen, and Wind Waker would have been one of them.
They didn't see Gangnam Style.
Okay, they didn't see
Garugamesh.
Asteroid Barricade.
Oh god, I can't believe I just said that.
Or... what?
Garugamesh.
Oh, Harstem.
That's like an OG meme right there.
You're cool. Anyway, there's some maps, at least a handful, that they have not seen, so they might be a little hesitant to play on. And technically, they don't have to play on any maps they haven't seen. Like, the 7 that are games that are played are going to be available over the 7 games they played yesterday.
They could play all 7 out of the 9 maps that they've seen so far, and that's totally fine and cool too. Just again, we've given them the option in case anybody wants to check it out and try to earn some cool points because they see like a abusive ledge or something on one of these other maps.
Yeah. So, we have a Phoenix opener, a Stargate opener again from Harstem, and this time he's going to keep it. Now, Neeb's going to scout it, and it's not a Phoenix. I think it's really important to note, because if a Phoenix, then maybe his mothership core would take some damage.
I don't even mind that it's bleeding down. What bothers me is now it's not level at the top. But it's okay. You know what? Just never select anything, and I think we'll be okay.
You notice the weirdest things.
If you just never select anything, it'll be just fine. Always show the resources on this.
It's so obnoxious, man. Like, I gotta be in like full obs to change it. But if I'm full obs, then I'm not seeing what's going on.
Well, while the camera does show that Neeb is actually slaughtering probes of the mothership core, we did have Harstem get across the map with some adepts. So both players lose about equivalent workers. The only difference is Neeb still hasn't been dealt with. Like, the mothership core's only just gone home. This had to be this got 7 kills, Zombie Girl. The mothership core got 7
sneaky,
kills.
Man. She's stuck right around there. You know what's up. This Oracle, by the way, hasn't done very much yet.
She baited out an overcharge too, as well. So I mean, Neeb really just you got away with a lot. But Harstem was pretty good at paying it back. It did cost Harstem a lot more to pay Neeb back, but he did manage to get those workers even up. So it's not going to be the worst case for him.
This Oracle, I believe, is waiting. You know, but unfortunately, Harstem knows that Neeb still has an overcharge ready, and you could guess that maybe they've moved their army units, but it's not the case here. There's really no pylon in the back, so the Oracle can kind of just dodge and weave around it. That's not so bad.
So I was wondering what Harstem not using this for so long, and it occurred to me, like, he did use the Adepts to force out the overcharge, or maybe that's what he was waiting on.
Yeah, but they still need another overcharge. So that's what I was trying to say.
Well, when it was originally stalled out, it was driven off by the stalkers at home, and my thoughts are, well, Neeb was across the map, he burned a recall, he burned one overcharge, just shouldn't have another, but he did, but he shouldn't have.
Okay, well, now 2 Oracles can take a couple of shots, but good focus fire from Neeb at the last second on the one that is weakened, which it was the last second. So, these are all things that Harstem had to do and has now successfully gotten even a lead off of. Like, at first he was down 2 probes, now he's up 5 probes. A little behind in that +1, but I seriously can't even give that much emphasis on upgrades in PvP. Like, you're usually really supposed to. Like, +1 melee lings against Adepts, really important. +1 Carapace against the Marine push, really important. But, man, the upgrade in Protoss versus Protoss just sometimes is just like, Disruptors.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I forgot about this because we saw a lot of this very specific dynamic when it was the Civil War tournament, right? You had Harstem very regularly pumping out those upgrades against anybody who was playing, whether it was Drogo or Neeb or whoever. And a lot of the time, that +2 versus +0 didn't actually net wins.
Right, yeah. I mean, if they're not going to go to Disruptors for a very long time, that sometimes happens in PvP, where they both might have an endgame of Disruptors, but, like, everything else is going on, so it's really just mass Stalkers for some time. Then, of course, the upgrades are amazing, but this is a dangerous move by Neeb. Oracles are on the map, man, and they almost went to the very south before they veered a little tiny bit off to the right.
This is kind of crazy, but also kind of cool, because you got to consider what Harstem's producing right now, right? Like, with Void Rays on the way and not continued Phoenix production or Oracle production, he's actually not going to be very well set to deal with double Stargates. If Neeb starts pumping out just like a lot of Phoenix, He's actually just gonna overwhelm Harstem in the air. This is it's kind of down and dirty, and I hope it works, but it's also like, oh, shame on you, Neeb.
Right?
Third base almost feels like a bit of a fake. He'll need it eventually, but of course a lot of the emphasis is going to be going into those Phoenix now in the bottom. Harstem does add on another Stargate. I'm really curious about this though, because he's not seen Neeb's base. He doesn't know about the proxies, obviously.
Right. I mean, Harstem's kind of in the dark despite having oracles, which is like one of the reasons you get oracles, besides the hope of doing a lot of damage, is actually just having this perfect scouting. You scout the army, maybe you just send a revelation on like a mothership core, and then it can scout with the techies, like something, right? But the proxy, or hidden rather, not necessarily really the point of this is to be proxy, it's more to be hidden, but it's really gonna throw him off. But man, chat is trying to trigger you so hard. Like, they're talking about, like, imbalances elsewhere that I can't even fix.
Just let's focus on the game.
Like the production tab apparently has something wrong with it, and the nameplates have something wrong with it, and I'm just like,
look,
why do you guys notice this so much?
It's almost, well, for me, it's like, how do you not notice? But that's a different story, I guess.
Well,
wow, a lot of Phoenix have been made. Harstem is still making Void Rays. And this feels really bad because he's still not seeing those Stargates. I mean, credit to Neeb. Who's going to look over here, right? He's going to take the Watchtower and see what's going on. But if Harstem, even if he sees this, he's going to find out too late. Well, Void Rays are really good at melting armored units. They don't fare well versus Phoenix at all.
Especially a lot of Phoenix,
yeah. Neeb has definitely earned cool points for getting this out there. And I like this because... Surprise, exactly. We're so used to seeing Neeb play very standard. This is very unlike Neeb, and so much more, at least for me, much more enjoyable.
Whoopsie. Oh, he noticed, okay. Originally made 2 Templar Archives, but he got it. Alright, so Harstem is going to try and win the air war. Adds on another Stargate, another 2 Stargates.
Okay.
So 4?
I mean,
holy shit.
If he... All things considered, he is on 3 bases, and Phoenixes are not that expensive. It's viable to produce off this many Stargates, just not preferable.
Well, it's a weird game, right? Because you had to transfer over into Phoenixes while Harstem had been steadily growing his Void Ray count. And both things are not common. Like, you don't usually go Void Rays in PvP, and you don't usually transfer in a double Phoenix in the mid game. So it's really hard to call right now, but this might be the best move. Like, Harstem might have seen the Phoenix pop out and say, like, oh, you're playing a Stargate game, I'm playing a Stargate game, I'm gonna play the better Stargate game. And while Phoenixes can deal with Void Rays in low numbers of Phoenix will not deal with large numbers of Void Rays, right? Like, Neeb has given up building Phoenixes.
I'm really looking at Fleet Beacon too. Like, if Harstem's looking to go for the Anion Pulse Crystals, it has a really weird dynamic in PvP. I would hope this goes even further, though. Like, the Mothership's one thing. I want to see this make, like, carriers or something really obnoxious. But just to note really quick, even though Harstem's still going to Void Rays, like, my concern is, okay, he might not be able to win the air war outside of cannons, right? Like, he's always going to be near an overcharge or a cannon or something. But if he ever does get to attack, like, these are going to wreck everything Neeb could be making behind this.
Canceling Mothership's kind of expensive, so I hope he doesn't have to do that again. Neeb has been scouting this Phoenix. He's seen that the Void Ray count has been growing, so he must know that it's a Void Ray based Protoss player right now, which is very odd, but it's not unheard of. We've seen it in the past, and one of the ways you could deal with this was actually by either going for Mass Stalkers in the early game, so you just cut their Void Ray numbers repeatedly, and that could work. Or if it does get to the late game, you go for a lot of Archons. And that works if you get a good position. Like, if you're choked up attacking 2 Voiders at a time, then, you know, F you, right? But cancel the Mothership. Wow. This is, as I said, it's kind of expensive. $75.75 every time.
Well,
that Oracle is weird.
A big part of canceling it, though, is it is vulnerable. It can't move while it's morphing, and he'd lose it anyways. So canceling it, okay, it's a little bit expensive, but it's still cheaper than building a new Mothership core.
Yeah. It's unfortunate these Void Rays can't protect it. It looks like it's not gonna happen. Carriers are now on the way, and if their carriers come out in large numbers, then Archon's just never gonna reach them, and then that's a That's an issue for Neeb.
This is so weird. I actually don't know how this dynamic goes. We usually in the past this goes to Tempest. This doesn't go to carriers. So I mean, it's just weird for a lot of different reasons. The other part of it too is like interceptors, I guess, could technically be killed by the Phoenix easily. I say with a question mark though. I really don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's also where the Archons can still help is against the interceptors. So they'll never be able to reach the carriers, but if they're in low numbers, I guess it won't matter. Cool Stasis Trap not only takes away 3 Archons worth of damage, but also kind of chokes the other Archons behind. The Stalkers still are useful, and the Phoenixes are trying their best to soak up shots.
Yeah, the Boyders are doing surprisingly well, but not good enough. Neeb takes game number 2. Now leading 2-0 in this best of 7. We're going to go to a small commercial break, though, guys. We'll be doing this every 2 games or so. So please sit tight. Don't go anywhere. And we'll be back soon.
Hello again, everyone. We're getting into game number 3 on Karis Passage. And, I noticed an update to Twitch that was probably a good thing, but really annoys me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's all over the site. I don't know. But it used to be that if you pause the stream and then, you know, a live stream, obviously not like a VOD.
Oh. It doesn't work that way, right? I know what you're talking about.
It just stays where you paused it, which I guess sounds like a quality of life improvement, because, like, why else are people pausing streams? But for people that don't want it running in the background and they have to wait for it for ads, it's really annoying.
So if you minimize the video preview, that'll refresh it for you. Like you see, there's the little drop down thing that'll minimize it.
The hacks.
Yeah, I had a hard time figuring this out, but I think we're getting beyond rated right now. That's a lot of beyond faces, and that's an absolutely beautiful thing to see.
What is that? What? No, I don't even.
I don't know if we're actually getting beyond rated or if our mods are just actually subbed to beyond, but either way, hello, thank you if you guys are here. If not, then we'll carry on as usual. But yeah, it's a best of 7 you're tuned in for. After this is going to be Thermal versus Snoot, and we'll continue as we get into game 3. In the bottom right, he's going to be the pink Protoss player, none other than Harstem.
In the top left is the red Protoss. It is Ting's Neeb. And we had some resubs that I believe we haven't shouted out, right? Lupa?
Lupa!
My
man.
For 28 months. Love you guys. Finally getting back into playing. And can someone make sure Rifkin is okay? He's not blinking and looks awfully still.
Oh.
Oh, you. And then to PT Grouchy for the 2-month resub. Good work. Keep it up. Or great work. I don't know. You abbreviated it.
Wow, you tried really hard on that one, didn't you?
It could be Gerbork, for all I know. Or great watching. And he was complimenting himself.
There you go. Pat on the back. Anyways, for those who might just be joining us on the stream and don't know how this is going to be working, these matches today, these 2 best of 7s, don't actually have any prize pool increase. You, the fans, are going to be who votes on who goes through to the finals for the $1,000 final matchup. So at the end of stream, we're going to have a Google form we'll be linking to you guys in chat. You can vote on which players you want to come back and which maps you want to return for those finals. So again, the emphasis here is we really want to get our fans involved. You know, there's so many different pieces to this puzzle, but the big one is it's about what you guys want to see.
Yeah. So Neeb gonna do what he's always been doing. I wouldn't be surprised if this game or the next game Harstem just like tries to blind counter it. Oh, no, those are not stalkers. Yeah. So these were like stalkers, and they caught the militia core in the middle of the map, and that would be excellent. But they aren't. They are depths. They will see the militia core on the way, so maybe his stalkers are better positioned this game than last. You know, where he lost 7 probes to him, but. Then they might not be here to deal with the adepts, so it's annoying no matter what. Now Harstem, he could be walled off, but he's gonna just kill this probe, so Stalker's gonna be out. Stalkers are in the natural, Mothership Core is in the main. I guess what really happened was that last game he delayed his Mothership Core a lot, so he couldn't cover 2 bases at once.
Yeah, well, his Mothership Core got delayed on... Well, actually... Here we go with Neeb trying to get some kills again. Not going to happen this time. Immediately pushed back. I mean, to get 7 kills in one game, I feel like you're using up all of your luck for the entire series in that one game. You're not really going to get away with that again. Or at least you shouldn't.
Kind of wants to chase these Adepts, I guess. Not really gonna work, being both the same unit. But Phoenixes are on the way, and I don't think Harstem ever tried to get into the main base, even with a Shade. I know Shade doesn't like scout very well anymore, but nope, no attempt to do so. So the Phoenix have been unscouted. Harstem is going for 12 counts on a Robo, so no wonky first game again. But he might find a couple units lifted where he didn't expect it, or maybe even loses the Mothership Core if he's not on top of things.
Well, it's really interesting because actually thinking back on it, regardless of composition for a moment, like Neeb has been playing around the Stargate, and I'm wondering if this is just his standard for PvP, or if this is, again, they're trying to play a little bit different to win the hearts of the fans. We talked to them about it. We made sure that they knew that was the goal for today, and they both are fully aware that like that's an option for today's games. So Neeb, I mean, we're seeing cool things with the Phoenix. I'm curious to see how close to standard this is for him, though.
I have a ragtag group of units here. Fortunately, a little out of position as the Adepts of Harstem ran in. There is a gap right here going to the third. Picks up one Adept, definitely going to get that one. The other one might... How does that even work? Yeah, okay. It shaded through. And well, it didn't last long. It did force a Mothership overcharge, which, you know, if Harstem was going for Phoenixes or a War Prism or something, that could have been a problem. But as he's going for Blink, waiting, defensively, that overcharge is really not an issue. Only 3 Phoenix. That's an interesting number to make. Oh, no, 4. My bad. Still, you know, 4 not 5? Come on.
Yeah, actually, just kind of keep forgetting because it's been so long since we've seen the sort of Phoenix play. And yeah, like 3 and 5 are the magic numbers, 3 being much lesser, but 4 being in between with a question mark.
You're just playing weird now. That's just weird. Now he sees the third base go down, and while he might have intention to take his own, it is going to be a little bit later.
It is interesting though, seeing Neeb, like he's actually going for upgrades behind this. This isn't going to be piled on to like just crazy mass Phoenix. Not like we've seen, at least so far.
Yeah. He did go for the faster upgrades last game, but also went for the double Phoenix, so it's a bit wonky, but he ended up on a mass ground army, really, with Phoenixes only kind of helping in the air, and as such, the upgrades are probably useful. Kind of crush Harstem's army. Observer sees Neeb's third, and they know the state of the macro game, I suppose. Harstem might be a little hesitant to go to Disruptors because he's seen Phoenixes, but he hasn't seen the count rise in a while, so he might just also assume that the macro is continuing on beyond Stargate play. And if there's 4 Phoenix, this is like the exact situation I was talking about last time, where if there's like only 4 Phoenix, if they both get to like 4+ Disruptors, which I'm guessing they might, or at least Harstem might, they aren't too helpful. They get targeted down pretty quickly, but one cancel can be the difference of life and death, so who knows. And I have to keep correcting myself, because even though I kind of assume that both of these foreigners will play Blinkstalker Disruptor, Neeb has loved his Charge on Archon.
Yeah, and that is weird, again, style-wise by region and all that, but what is it, like 12 gateways or something he went in that first game? Like, even disregarding Harstem only having 6, 12 is still an abnormally high amount of gateways to go for.
Yeah. It does work out really well, though, if you're on 4 bases, High Templar, you know, charge lots, because that's, you know, the balancing act works so much better than if you're constantly building from a Robo.
Yeah.
1 Phoenix did die, so now down to 3. Charge on the way, +2. Harstem isn't so far behind on his own upgrades, though, because Neeb really had a big gap between +1 and +2. But if Harstem's army were to go up against Charge Lot Archon without anything better than Blinkstalkers, then, yeah, the composition should be in favor of Neeb. Force fields don't even count, because of course Archons would be in the mix. So there is the second Robo, Robotics Bay, and he'll be able to grow his count pretty quickly to, I think, what is usually a safe number of 4 Disruptors, then however many you want to go beyond that. 8, 10, 12, whatever, it's your prerogative.
Yeah. I mean, I really, really enjoy watching well-handled Blinkstalker Disruptor Wars, but every time we've seen it, it's been really one-sided in terms of like whoever just had the better first shot and it snowballs. But the way Neeb plays, he doesn't really have that potential. The best way I can equate this is like it's a Terran player who's using Hellbats instead of Widow Mines, right? Like Neeb's actually got really good compositions, an army, and just, well, he's gonna have a lot of units on the field compared to Harstem. But at the same time, Harstem's not going for Disruptors. He's going for Colossus.
Okay, then. That's an interesting mix-up.
It's dedication to it too. This wasn't like a misclick. 2 Colossus on the way, on top of the fact that he's researching extended thermal lands as we speak.
So let's go for Zane Glaives, which kind of glossed over for a second. Hallucinating Phoenix of Harstem was taken out, so he didn't see the 4th base, which kind of sucks. Neeb's Hallucinating Phoenix ran out too, so he wouldn't have seen the Colossus pop. Maybe he saw the Robotics Bay move in though. Yeah, I think that signifies that it was moving. But you know, you could just think that it was a War Prism speed, or hell, even Observer speed.
I don't know what to make of the Colossus in this instance. I mean, on one hand, the funny thing is to consider Phoenix actually aren't going to be too bad against them. Like, okay, well, you might pick up a Disruptor and just hope to cancel the shot. You can actually just straight up kill a Colossus with a Phoenix.
Technically, yes. They get on top of them and they're protected. There's 4 Phoenixes, but there is a second Stargate, which I think that Hallucinating Phoenix scouted just barely before it died. Still hasn't seen the 4th base, though, which is a little awkward, because Harstem has this War Prism, right? And I've been watching that just kind of, like, loll around and do nothing. And I'm like, what? It's not doing anything. I guess he was really saving it for his main push. Didn't want to risk losing it just for warping in a couple of Adepts, and then the Phoenixes catch it. Just kind of funky.
Well, Harstem not taking the golds, but Neeblet is, and takes both of them at that.
Oh wow, yeah, really fast 5th. Harstem's just straight up falling behind in this macro game, and I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, it might be okay with it because you still can get maxed out on 3 bases, and he's still like spending his money well, right? But yeah, I would figure a 4th base would just come down out of the timing, you know, not because he scouted, but just because it's around that time and I haven't been killed yet. But then it finally goes down. And Harstem is also moving out with that War Prism I was talking about. Some upgrades on the way for Neeb, so not helping right now. And his army supply has taken a hit. I mean, 3 Colossus, that's a lot of splash damage.
It's so weird seeing them, but I just want to see that potential. Guardian Shield will help reduce the damage on the Colossus from the Phoenix, but as we can see, they can still hammer through it. Graviton beaming a couple of the units on the front line too, and the War Prism micro to the backside at Harstem was actually really cool to see. Maybe he'll save some of these Colossus from those Phoenix, maybe he won't, but the point is, his Colossus do the job before they go down, and they take out most of Neeb's gateway units.
Right, yeah. The Adepts also helped out there because Neeb was not only depending on charge lots, but also, you know, some, like, this high immortal count. They should have ripped through all these Stalkers, but instead they were targeting Adepts in the front lines, maybe in some of the Archons. So yeah, Harstem probably could have saved the other 2 Colossus, or at least one were the Colossus. 2 died, and this one single one isn't too much damage. And it is going to go down.
It's not, but I was also hoping to see like a little bit more of the instances where like, you pop all the immortal barriers and whatnot, but despite that really good fight, GG's, and Neeb now leads 3-0 and puts Harstem on his last life.
Yeah. Well, once, you know, he wasn't... Once his Adepts died, the Immortals were just ripping through the rest of that army. Even with the Adepts, he just had a lot of damage output in the smaller scale battle.
Not to mention, most of the Phoenix actually lived through the fight too, but I was just going to comment, I really like... Harstem's trying different things, that's cool, 2 thumbs up. It's interesting watching Neeb, though, still play to the maps. Like, he was expanding towards the golds, whereas Harstem was expanding towards the south and away from the golds.
Yeah, and much later, too, which is probably another reason he tapped out. But it's Harstem's choice, once again. He's chosen the... how to say, the regular maps, I suppose. Like, these have all been maps that everyone's been okay with, that have decent macro games. So basically not like Blood Boil or Aramida or Bandalog Ruins. Oh no, and then he chose me, any map? What am I gonna choose? What do you want to see, Rifkin?
Not Gungam Gunyanegum.
Well, good for you, that's not in my bookmark game, so I wouldn't be choosing that anyways. So
you know, I wouldn't mind actually with them playing Stargate so much. We could throw Paradise Lost at them and see if the air blockers have any effect.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
So I'm just gonna mention this on stream as well. We had planned to try and get some of the map makers and a couple of pros together to talk on Discord after the stream and the cast was done today, and we'd stream it still. Like, it'd just be like bonus content at the end. That offer may not be extended anymore due to A, lack of interest, and also B, the fact that I'm not the one streaming anymore.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll put an asterisk on it, guys. Why? This is a fun map. Did they not enjoy your choice
Oh,
or your selection.
Naruto said Cruel Zombie. Why don't you like this map? I think he's dumb. Oh, we're ready to go. And what could be the last map?
Yeah, potentially. Harstem just kind of. It's hard to compete with somebody like Neeb. He is just a step above the rest, but he's also been particularly good at this matchup for a long time. I think before we do these intros, it's really hard for a player to be consistently good at a matchup for an extended period of time. We'll see it, like with each patch and each change to the game. Suddenly you're good at TVZ and no longer good at TVT. And then the next patch comes in and it changes and it changes. But Neeb has been really good and very solid at this matchup for quite some time. So not surprised the score looks like this. Spawning in the bottom right, he's on his last life currently. It's going to be the pink Protoss, Harstem.
In the top left is the red Protoss. He is Ting's Neeb.
And thank you very much to Alive Game. This is that guy who was super duper generous the other day, if you guys remember. 10 months on that resub. He says, Neeblet, base god, Kriegasm. I guess we should, like, America up the intro. You put on that soundtrack from Team America. Have that in the background, just playing while we talk about Neeb.
I don't know that soundtrack, but Google.
America, fuck yeah.
Oh, is that the
Everyone's
entire
heard the song.
I've heard that sentence in that way.
Good to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America.
Maybe you've done this before.
No, that was a great song. It's a great movie.
Oh, okay, all right. I believe you. Yeah, that was one of like the puppets, right?
Yeah, which looked surprisingly real at points. It made me very uneasy.
Dipped in a uncanny valley, huh?
I'm talking about the sex scene.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a sex scene, but thank you.
Have you not seen that movie?
I haven't
actually.
Yes, actually. Like, I haven't seen. I saw the movie Rifkin. I just refused to listen to the song.
No, I didn't know if this was like maybe you were misremembering it or something. I actually liked the movie. I would recommend it. Despite how stupid and kind of gross it could be, it actually has. Oh, hang on, it actually has a really good message in it. Like the story's not bad.
Did you like Super Troopers?
Yes, I fucking loved Super Troopers.
I fucking hated Super Troopers. Like,
but it's not that kind of humor.
Isn't it?
I mean, I guess in terms of like maturity, maybe, but it's not the same style of humor.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe I should have given it a chance. But I said the same thing for Super Troopers because like we were like arguing about what movie to watch as you usually do with your friends when you're hanging out.
I can't believe you don't like Super Troopers.
And I thought Super Troopers was just so not funny. Like it wasn't just like a yeah, I guess that was kind of, funny and like the situation was laughable, but it was just like, wow, this is so painfully unfunny. And then like my friend David was just like laughing his ass off. He thought like everything was hysterical. Anyways, that aside, we do have Harstem with a sneaky probe down here, finally using this plateau, this little area that
I don't know that we've actually seen anyone. Yeah, no one expands here. No one builds anything here. It's the first time he's laying claim to this land.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So proxy Stargates, probably. Neeb does have a depths, but they're not going to be able to get in and scout any lack of anything, or too much of anything, rather, like the gas, and that's just going to be a little awkward. They both have been, for the most part, expanding, right? Like, even though I think the first game they went for Stargates first... No, maybe they didn't. I think they've been expanding before anything else. So really kind of typical macro games. This would be a big change-up, but it is found, so just kidding.
By the way, thank you to Bedimus Max as well for the 3-month resub. We'll get the scuffle going on in the middle of the map. It is really unfortunate it was found, though, because this was kind of dedicated out of Harstem.
Yeah,
and very intentionally.
Wow. Oh, the high ground.
The high ground really screwing him here.
This is just not
Solid
working.
Snake, just watching for the box.
He has to cancel the Stargate. I was wondering if he's going to do that. Running around the Rosie, too. The DFs are still going to be able to get this Stalker, I do believe.
I mean,
Run, buddy!
You guys will note that while this goes rather poorly for Harstem in the middle of the map, it goes worse almost at home. Like, his Nexus came down significantly later than that of Neeb's. He's bleeding out a lot of armies. He falls back too, so Neeb's counterattack's gonna keep pushing through.
Oh, that was cool. I've been hearing this weird sound that I've never noticed before, like when a Stalker dies. Like a more metallic click or something.
Yeah, like ching.
Yeah, okay, that's just... Has that always been a thing?
No, I've been noticing it too. I thought it was kind of like the Marauder thing. You remember we could hear the Marauders die for a while? I just assumed it was something like that.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't know what it's dying. Well, the Stubble Stargate is definitely a change-up. The Adept doesn't transfer through, unfortunately. Gets a probe. Oh, Neebs is such a good position. Up 8 workers, up an army supply. The only thing he doesn't have going for him is the Scout and the Double Phoenix. And that, you know, like, if you don't have your units in position or you have too few units, that equals a lot of lost probes. Like maybe even 10 go down if they wait till they have 6 or 8 Phoenixes, you know? So that could even things up, but it's another kind of Hail Mary. Like the Stargate almost was. Oh boy. I just feel like I should just list things I don't like that the internet loves. So guys, real quickly, I don't like bacon.
You are. The funny thing is, you're like the opposite of a cat. Like, the internet loves cats. And you're a cat on the outside, but you're not a cat on the inside.
Okay, but cats wouldn't like bacon either.
Cats would love bacon. Are you kidding me? I can't think of a single cat that wouldn't like bacon. You got some vegetarian cats out there? I don't think so.
Have you ever tried giving a cat bacon?
Because they're all eating bacon.
I think that some cats might like bacon. Because, like, there's... My thoughts on it was that it would be too, like, maybe, like, greasy or hot, and they, like, wouldn't want to. But they might, I don't know. I've had cats that don't like human foods at all. Like, Ziggy would never eat any human food. It was like, no, I'm a cat, give me cat food. And I'm like, alright.
Okay, so it's no Super Troopers, it's no bacon, it's no Monty Python.
Oh, that's right, that's another one.
Big hit.
Yeah, I know there's one other one that we're forgetting, but I can't remember right now. Anyways, the Phoenixes have been revealed at this point, and they are pretty high in numbers. So this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, if the probes aren't protected, that's really quickly, maybe even 10 going down. But you saw, like, in 5 seconds, 6, 7, he could reach for another one, and probably only lose 1 Phoenix for it, maybe even 2. But definitely save the Phoenix and just look for another opportunity. He's also successfully denying Neeb from the quick expansion that he was looking for, and Harstem's Gambit has worked off here.
Well, it's nice as well. So this is particularly part of why we wanted to try this map out. Can you go over to the... Well, I guess once the action subsides, go over to the air blockers. We'll show the fans real quick.
Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Here's the gate.
Yeah, like, this whole quadrant, essentially, like the corners of the map, top, left, bottom, right, they're kind of air blocked off. You can break the gateway and the gate and open your way in, but I thought with all the Phoenix play and all the Stargate play, this might be a problem for them. But so far, Harstem's just sticking to the middle of the map, and we're not going to see that be an issue just yet.
Yeah.
But the air blockers or whatever, because Blizzard's, let's be honest, StarCraft's not ready for air blockers in a lot of ways. The AI just isn't there to compensate. But I love that there's a gate you can break down and suddenly make it less derpy.
Hopefully. We saw it broken down once, but then nothing went through it. So you just kept winning battles after we broke it down. Well, the Void Ray style we saw 2 games ago did not work out against Neeb, but Neeb also was able to scout it repeatedly with his own Phoenix. Like, he just kept on seeing how many Void Rays there were. Different game this time. Very different game.
So the thing about Void is I'm actually thinking back to I want to say like even early HOTS, like days when Whiterun was still playing, because I'm thinking of Whiterun specifically for this example, where Void Rays, if you guys don't remember, used to be like 10 times more broken than they are now. Like, they'd get charged up, then they'd stay charged up forever. And Mass Archons would break that. I think that Neeb's choice for DTs here isn't actually too bad, because it can lead to the Archons he may or may not need, depending how this goes. But of course, he doesn't know about the Void Ray part yet. He just knows about the Phoenixes, so this might be a bit of a surprise to him, as Harstem does have that prismatic alignment ready to unleash, and if he does, these Stalkers will fall apart so quickly. I love that he doesn't pop it right away, though.
This is enough Stalkers that technically, if they got a better position, they could take this on, but it is risky, especially to these chokes, so... Neeb's gonna have to think about what happens after this, because he has not built up his 3rd base. This is just really an all-in. But if he's not gonna be able to break this, like, the army's gonna be too good. Just Harstem continuing to add on these very powerful units. Let's see what happens. We now have Archons in the mix from those DTs, and he's gonna try and break them. Yup, 1 Void Ray taking a lot of the shots of the Void Rays, finally goes down. It takes so many of the damage. There's the overcharge pop, or the prismatic alignment rather, but is it enough? I'm actually not so sure. The stalker's getting kind of low. They're trying to micro here.
The boost just ended with the Void Rays being low. I mean, this is still going to be a pretty tight fight, and I feel like if these Phoenix had a little bit more energy, if they could pick up like 1 or 2 more Stalkers, the Void Rays could have lived, but Harstem, you know, he's not out of the game just yet, but he can't really fight with what's on hand. As these 2 new Void Rays come out, I think, honestly, they might, with this Immortal, be able to Shrek the rest of the Stalkers.
They'd have to come out together. That Immortal looks awfully tempting to pounce upon. You got more Stalkers being warped in. +1 did fit, was done as well, so that has helped out. The Immortal goes down, so the Void Rays probably aren't going to be enough, and that's going to be game. Barely breaking Harstem. Wow.
I was going to say, the 4 Phoenix crowd controlling plus the 1 Immortal, I feel like, yeah, you're right, they'd have to be all together, but because they weren't, it was unfortunate. Harstem dies, and Neeb will take a 4-0. Congratulations to him.
Good game. Good game. Wow. So if you leave Whispers, it says, like, leave the person's name. Just, like, leave Harstem. No.
Gone forever.
So the next series is going to be a TVZ between Snoot and you, Thermal. A team fight. So we'll get that set up and ready to go. And it won't take too long as there aren't any vetoes. So we're going to go to a quick break, come back, talk about things.
Oh. Before we go to the break.
Okay.
Big thank you to the Baracus for the new sub. And I will be linking not the player poll, but the map poll in chat for you guys to start voting on if you want to do that now.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to go to break.